Conversations with gospel artists, pastors, our favorites what got us through all the troubles and disasters. Indeed, we fell short, but the Lord never passed us. Our belief in God is the most important factor. It's the Velika B Project. You're now tuned in to the Velika B Project with your host, Velika B, lover of God, founder and CEO of Set Apart and Chosen. Sit back and relax and enjoy the conversations.
Hello, family. It's your girl, Velika B. I am here today with another episode of the Velika B Project, sponsored and powered by Set Apart and Chosen. We have an amazing special guest on today. She have been in the industry for years and really have pushed a lot of the gospel industry community to really come collectively as one. But I'm gonna drop my graphic of Dr. Teresa Hairston Jackson. I'm excited to have her on with me on today. And let me bring in Dr. Teresa. Hey, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well. Been following you for years, and you have some amazing things going on from way before I even knew who you were. Before I was saved, to be honest, because I'm telling people I haven't been saved for too long, but you have been doing amazing things in the gospel community. And what
Well,
before we
thank you.
get no problem. Before we get started talking about, what we came here to talk about today, which is the gospel industry honors, which you have put in a lot of work for. I kind of want to get a little background of how everything started. And we pretty much started with the Gospel Today magazine and the Gospel Heritage Foundation. Can you give us a little background on both of those?
So, Gospel Today magazine started in 1989. I know it's like, oh, yes, I am. So, what happened? I went to New York and I was working in New York City at a record label. And I'm working at this record label, and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing promotions. I'm promoting these artists and stuff like that and records. It's got to be a better way than calling all these radio stations. So I created a newsletter for the company, and it went so well that they kind of took it into another division and said, "Hey, thank you." I was like, "Oh." And so I started my own, asked their permission, and started. And it was a 4-page newsletter, $300 investment. And
Wow.
the story is I'm working 2 jobs, got 3 kids, single mom, all that.
Wow.
But God He just expanded and it exploded. And I think it was the timing, the season. People were hungry for information. And, we were back then in a season where people read stuff.
Right.
So that was really great.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, so let's get into the Gospel Heritage Foundation.
Okay. Gospel heritage. So I was doing gospel today.
Hmm.
It had really, really taken off. And so then I started, well, I changed the name because initially it was called SCORE,
Okay.
SCORE. And everybody was like, what is SCORE? And because I'm a musician, trained musician, my background said score is the uh, music from whichever all these instruments read. That's what a score is. And people were
Right.
like, we don't know what that is. So, they thought I was playing baseball or scoring with, dating. It was crazy. So anyway, I said, we got to change this name. So I came up with the name Gospel Today.
Hmm.
And then I decided to have this big concert to help raise money for the repositioning of the magazine.
Okay.
I was living in Nashville, and the first night that I had this concert, I decided to salute and celebrate Albertina Walker.
Okay.
Why? Because she was the first gospel artist that sang one of my compositions.
Okay.
So I'm there celebrating her, and she was so overwhelmingly thankful. She was just, I was like, "Ooh, okay." I didn't give her $1 million, but you would have thought I did. And it really, I kind of sent a message to me to say, we don't celebrate each other in this industry like we need to. So it kind of said, okay, we need to keep our our future alive
Hmm.
by knowing our past.
That's good. That's good.
So I began to celebrate our legacy bearers, our trailblazers, our pioneers in gospel, and it just took off. And so we celebrated, and then I found we needed to educate. What do
Hmm.
we need to talk about? We need to really educate people on worship. What is worship?
Good.
How does worship become a part of not only your music but your life? And
Good.
so I began to have praise and worship conferences,
That's good.
and the conferences were absolutely life changing for the next 25 years, if you believe that. So it's been a long, long journey and a good journey.
You know what? I just thought about it. You either have written or produced some major songs, correct?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
drop the names for me, please?
Uh, well, one of the songs that is near and dear to my heart was a song titled "Magnify," sung
Hmm.
by Lucretia Campbell,
Yes.
and that song just went everywhere and did everything. And she was such a gift, such a great gift. And then after the song was out, a few years later, she transitioned. But so that was one of the songs. I had songs with Georgia Mass Choir and New Jersey Mass Choir, all kinds of songs. But the other thing is that I was able to be an executive producer, so I was able to put records out on some of the artists that I admire. One of my favorite was Thomas Whitfield, and he was called the Maestro for a good reason. He was
Yes.
such a gift. So yes, Albertina Walker. If anybody remembers Kingdom, Ronnie's song. So anyway, it was a long, long. And then of course I had a chance to sign this guy to his, one of the major deals of his career, and that's Hezekiah Walker. So we did a record, on him, and of course he took off from there. So it's just been a wonderful journey.
That's crazy. Like, you really have broken a lot of grounds in the gospel industry. And what I do, honest to God, love, because you could have retired and quit a long time ago, but you're still, even after the magazine, the Gospel Heritage Foundation, now we're going into the Gospel Industry Coalition.
Well,
So,
it's something when you have a assignment in the earth.
yes. Hmm.
And a lot of times we get tired in our assignments and we want to give up and do something
Yes.
different. And
Hmm.
and I tried that. I really did. I
Yes.
tried quitting everybody.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I'm done with this industry thing. And it's like God just said, come on back. Come on
Right.
back. This is where you're supposed to be. And obedience is better than sacrifice.
Absolutely.
So I came back to it, especially after I got married a couple of years ago, and now it's Gospel Industry Coalition, and I'm excited about. So the thing that happens is, and I say this to some of your listeners, when you know that this is the area of your assignment, sometimes you
Mhm.
are working with people who don't really get what you're doing, get
Yes.
why you're doing it, and it's like, okay, if you had the vision to see what I see, then you would be doing what I do. So God gives you the vision as the leader to be able to come back and do what he's called you to do, because he wants you to be the one to establish it. Now, if you don't do it, he will use somebody else. So I
Mhm.
came back to the industry in a time where I felt like we were in a crisis. We needed unity. We needed to support each other. We needed to learn to talk to each other, communicate across lines. So that's what Gospel Industry Coalition is doing, and it's all about. So yeah.
Awesome. So we have something amazing going on next week. Well, when this air will be this week.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about this graphic and what the meaning and what's happening in the handsome man that is on the graphic?
That's it. That's my handsome hubby, Don Jackson. And, the whole celebration of people that are behind the scenes is something that this industry doesn't do. In the music industry overall, very little time is spent really celebrating those who support the artists, who support all of these industry levels that we touring, radio, radio promotions, all of the publicists. We don't get to pat them on the back. We just use and use, and people get tired, they quit. But I think this is really going to be that power pill that people say, oh man, yeah, they celebrated those people that are behind the scenes. And the artists are learning to appreciate their own crew, behind the scenes, because if it wasn't for the crew, it wouldn't be no platforms.
Right.
So this is what that is about. Gospel Industry Honors is going to be Friday, August 15th at Trevecca University. And it's open to the public. There are tickets, and they're online at gospelindustrycoalition.org. But the thing about this that we wanted to honor various people in different aspects of the industry, but we're honoring Don Jackson, of course, who is the creator and the CEO of the Stellar Awards. This is 40 years of Stellars. And that's a milestone that many businesses never make. So for him to make it to 40 years is quite an accomplishment. So, one thing I learned, and I was a member of Bishop Paul Morton's church for several years, and his wife, Pastor Deborah, Dr. Deborah Morton, she used to say this all the time. She said, I never take my man of God for granted.
Good.
And, I know a lot of times we get close to people who, they may be the artist, they may be the pastor, they may be the leader. And we sometimes like, oh, that's just so-and-so. But we never should take those people that, even though we're close to them, even though that we know their flaws and faults, we should never take them for granted. So I am honoring my husband, Don Jackson, not because he's my husband, because he's a great leader in this industry. He's a great leader in the gospel music community at large, and he deserves the honor. So that's what that's about.
After 40 years of the Stellars,
Yeah.
he could have, honestly, God, thrown in the towel because he's not dealing with just church and
Yeah.
art. He's dealing with industry, businesses,
Yeah.
stay afloat,
Yeah.
the funding to do all
Advertisers,
of
sponsors,
yes,
venues, multi thousands of seats in venues, and having to deal with all the drama that comes with that. All the drama in this industry is enough, let alone any of the rest of it. So it's really a tribute to see this milestone. And I think artists are going to be coming from all across the world to celebrate. And then, of course, in a few weeks after the show is taped in Nashville, it's going to air nationally on BET Bounce, all the outlets and stuff across the country. So it's an exciting time for gospel. I know somebody said gospel is dead, dying, and some fake news. Everybody, fake news. It is alive and kicking, and as long as it's black folk, as long as the black church is out there, as long as God is on the throne, we gonna have some gospel music. We gonna have some praise and worship. We gonna have some church, and that's what I'm talking about. So don't get it twisted. We doing good.
Yes, absolutely. That's good. That's good. But speaking of the Stellars, we
Yes.
also have
Yeah.
the pre-show. Tell us about the pre-show.
Yes. The pre-show is on Friday, August 15th, and starts at 5:30 p.m. It's going to be at the National African American Museum. The National Museum of African American Music. Let me say it that right. So this is the show where most of the Stellar Awards are given. So we've got like 20 some categories of Stellar Awards, and we've got phenomenal artists. Dorinda Clark Cole and Vincent Bohannon are going to be co-hosting that night. We're starting off with a red carpet and a pre-show for radio. So that starts at 5:30. Lonnie Hunter is hosting the radio show. We got some special guests, some special people that are going to perform on that. And the red carpet is hosted by Rizzo and Mita Washington. Listen, this is going to be a phenomenal event. It's going to be live streamed. And the thing about it is that people, they come to the main show on Saturday night, but this show is private and it's the nominees, but it really is like family. It's family coming together. Now, this is the last year family going to come together like this. Next year, it's going to be open to the public. So get ready but watch it on live stream so you can get a taste, a foretaste of what's coming up on the Stellars. Yeah. But I'm excited about it. And I am one of the female producers in the industry now that I'm grateful to say last year we won an Emmy for one
Okay.
of the shows that I produced. And
Good.
then this year, my husband gave me the job, the job, of producing the pre-show for the Stellars. So really excited about it. Excited to work with a great team of folks. Got AJ Wright as a co-producer, and just so many people that are doing a lot of work to make this thing come together.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes,
And
you're going to
actually,
be there, right?
you know I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I will definitely be there. Excited to be in the building. Can't wait to support you and
Thank you.
done and everything you guys have going on collectively together. So I am just so honored to be in your presence again.
Thank you.
Years of the push that you have done for the gospel community. Again, you could have retired and sit back and been sipping on some sweet tea on the beach with your husband, but y'all were like, no, we got to push to keep gospel music in front of everybody. So thank you
Yes.
so much for that.
Well, it's not just keeping it where we as a community love it, but it's expanding it. A couple
Mhm.
weeks ago, I was in Guyana, in South America, Guyana, and
Okay.
it's like they were doing this huge gospel celebration. It
Mhm.
was a praise and worship conference, and they had Chandler Moore, they had
Wow.
Todd Delaney. It was like 20,000 people. And we think gospel just is our little thing, but gospel is global. And the more we get the clue that God is everywhere, He's a God of the universe. And if we don't understand that He's outside the United States doing stuff and go out there and deal with it, we're going to be locked into this small little place. So I'm excited about what, the Stellars is doing because television goes everywhere as well. And we
Absolutely.
need to be like partnering with people across the globe and just not the people right here. And we need to really think about how other businesses can get gospel inside of their kind of their ecosystems,
Hmm.
because gospel is not just for church.
Hmm.
It's not just for the people that like the music. It's for us to inspire the world, us to spread the message that Jesus saves and Jesus inspires, Jesus heals, all of those things. So that's what this music is about, and that's what this industry is about, and that's what we as Christians need to be about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to emphasize before we log off of this broadcast?
So one of the things that I'm doing, and I haven't talked about this, we just finished it, but it's a new, I stopped doing gospel today, but I
Mhm.
didn't stop writing and I didn't stop publishing. I've
Okay.
been writing books all along the way. I've got 9 books, and if you go to my site,
Wow.
teresahairston.com, you can get one. One of the latest ones that I wrote is my kind of biography. It's called Unstoppable. And I encourage people to go to teresahairston.com and check it out. It's a big tabletop book, lots of pictures. It contains all of the years, the covers of Gospel Today magazine that I published. And it's really something that is a collector's item. But what I'm excited about is I just finished writing and putting on press another journal that's going to be out for the Stellars next week,
Okay.
and it will premiere the story of Don Jackson's 40 years.
Okay.
And it's a lot of pictures of people that you know and love. And when I tell you, this book is the thing. Get it, get it, get it. It'll be on sale on site, but it'll also be on thestellars.com if you want to buy it. But I think it doesn't go on sale until 2 weeks, like the week after the Stellars. But let me tell you, we need to preserve our culture. And the best way, one thing we don't do is throw away books. Look
Absolutely.
behind me.
Absolutely.
We got books, and we need books to tell our story. And we need that for our children to know who we were, what we looked like, what the generations that came before them did. So
Mhm.
these are the kinds of things that our culture
Right.
needs to tap into.
Right.
So just thank you for letting me share that.
No, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else you would like? Any other nuggets or behind the
You know,
scenes
the
that you
nuggets, I
have?
always want to leave people with a thing about vision. The
Mhm.
Bible tells us to write the vision. I think what right now we're going into a season, these last 4 months of the year, and you look back at your first 8 and you say, well, did I accomplish everything that I was, setting out to do this year?
Right.
2025, we come in, we're going to thrive in 25 and all that stuff. Did you do it? And a lot of times we look back and we got to really admit that we're not really where we're supposed to be on our to do list for the year.
Right. Right.
So here's what you do: you stop and you write down the things that you are supposed to do, the
That's
things that you haven't done, the things that you're going to do, and you put a timetable to them.
that's
So
good.
these are goals that you have to write. It says write the vision. If you got a vision for your life and some of the things in your vision haven't yet been done, now
Right.
if you've done everything, sit down and drink a sip of something. But if you haven't accomplished everything that God told you to do in this season, then you need to stop and drop and write
Right.
and then begin to plan, because God will give you strategies for his purpose.
Hmm.
And nothing he tells you is something you can't do.
Yep.
So, that's the thing that a lot of times we take for granted, that God has greatness in it's stored up in us. And all we
Hmm.
got to do is follow his breadcrumbs
Hmm.
to the success of where he has for us to go. So
Yep.
don't discount, well, I didn't do it, this year is gone, or it's too late, I don't have the money, I don't have the right thing. No, God is a God that provides. He said he will provide everything you need according to his riches in glory. So
Hmm.
you don't have to want for anything. And we got to understand that we serve a God that does the incredible above
Absolutely.
all that we can ask or think, according to the power that's working in us.
That's
So
good.
I encourage those of you who are listening to me right now, you need to step up, step out, speak out, and write your vision and then walk it out.
And Dr. Harrison, Dr. Jackson, I'm sorry. Let
That's okay.
everybody know how important it is to sometimes to take that time off so you can really hear from God and regroup. It's okay to take that time.
Wow. Taking the time out is so, so necessary. A lot of
Hmm.
times we get swept up being busy.
Hmm.
And sometimes you start out being busy about purpose, but then you just get swept up in busy. And you don't
Hmm.
even know what purpose is. You've gotten off track, and you got to recollect, renegotiate with your own spirit.
Hmm.
Sit down and and it may be taking a couple weeks to just pull back. Sometimes we have to pull back from social media. We have to pull back from being on the phone, looking at TV, doing all the stuff. And
Absolutely.
when you pull back and spend time with God, he never fails to give you what you need and tell you where you need to go next. And that's the thing, sometimes we're afraid of our own voices.
That's
We're
good.
afraid of quiet.
That's
And
good.
sometimes quiet is the best recipe. You think something's wrong with you, that you got an ailment, you got to go to the doctor, something was it? Listen, all you need to do is pull back and let God speak to you, speak into you, and then read the word. Begin a prayer, like a prayer diet, a prayer
Hmm.
agenda.
Hmm.
I did a prayer stand last week. We prayed straight for 3 hours. A lot of
Wow.
times we can't pray for 30 minutes, but we prayed for 3 hours and we prayed specifically. And when you pray specifically, God answers specifically.
That's good. That's good.
And that's the thing. Sometimes, in the things that we're doing, we're just kind of going through the motions and doing what we've been doing. And you got to get off the merry-go-round and
Hmm.
stop and say, you know what? I've been doing this same thing the same way and expecting different results. It's not going to happen. I got to start doing some new things, some new different ways. And, God is so faithful. He tells us, be transformed by the transforming of your mind.
Hmm.
So you got to start thinking different.
That's
And
good.
if you,
That's
you
good.
start thinking different, you start talking different, because your
Mhm.
your speech comes from what you think about first. So you think, you talk, and then you do. You act. And if you want some different results, especially in these last 4 months, and I believe we're in a season of escalation. When
That's
you get
good.
on God's agenda, He'll escalate you into the place that He wants you to be. And you can't turn around and take credit. It will be Him.
Right.
He will put you in a place and position you at tables, in rooms, open doors that no man can close, closed doors that no man can open, break down relationships that you didn't need, give you relationships that you do need. All of that is what He does. And if you will trust Him, if you will walk with Him, if you will take Him by the hand and say, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have it together, but
Right.
I'm going to trust you. I'm going to follow you. And I'm going to find everything I need in you. I'm going to seek your face and not just your hand. So spend time with Him and trust me, He'll answer.
Absolutely. That was good. That was good. I'm
Amen.
so
Thank you.
honored that you came on today. I do want to give everybody a refresher of what's going to happen. And this is pre-recorded, but this will be this week that we have.
Yes.
So let everybody know what's happening on this particular night.
This is going to be Friday morning, 11 a.m. at Trevecca University in Nashville. We're going to have a salute to gospel industry heroes and sheroes. So it's the Gospel Industry Honors at Trevecca, 11 a.m. And that's going to be an amazing celebration. But you can go online to gospelindustrycoalition.org and get all the information and get your tickets. And then
Awesome.
that night, the pre-show, the radio red carpet, the radio awards and red carpet start at 5:30, followed by the pre-show where we'll be honoring at least 25 of the amazing gifts in gospel music at the Stellar Awards pre-show. And then get Don's book there, get Don's book on Saturday. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Thank you, Valika.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Teresa, stay on with me. So, to my family at the Valika B Project and Set Apart and Chosen, thank you so much for supporting us every single week. Make sure you support the Stellars, Dr. Jackson, and everything that Mr. Dunn Jackson have going on as well. Thank you so much again.
Thank you,
Until
dear.
next time, God bless.
God bless.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Valika B Project with your host, Valika B. Until next time we meet, be blessed. The Valika B Project.